before he get back to his house, so he uses somebody's phone right quick so he can drop his jewels off. He can drop his jewels off right quick. He just want to add a little 2 cents.
Go ahead, man.
Uncle Charlie definition of that thing, right? See, what they get it fucked off at, right, is that an independent woman, right, is a woman who is educated, self-motivated, goal-oriented, who know what they want in life, who understand that if I have a child or whatever, I'm not going to be able to do the things that I want. An independent woman doesn't wait for anybody to give her anything. She goes out and get it. Now, the chicks that say that they independent are the main ones who waiting for the handouts and waiting mad because their baby daddy laid on the child support and shit, this and that. An independent woman don't even worry about the child support. If a nigga going to do what he got to do for the child support, he going to do it. Independent women do what they have to do to provide for themselves. They don't need nobody. That's why they're called independent. Independent women start at an early age. You know what I'm talking about? A woman first sign of independence is between the ages of 16 to 17. By the time a woman is 16 and 17, if she don't know what she want to do with her life by then, she ain't never going to know. And so she just going to have the title of just saying I'm independent when in reality you're not. That's all Uncle Charlie want to say. Independent women, y'all need to stand up for yourself more because you got these scallywags running around this motherfucker saying they're independent and they ain't got a part to piss in and a window to throw them out. You know what I'm talking about? An independent woman got a bunch of windows. They got all kind of opportunities because they make those opportunities for themselves. Nobody else made their opportunities for them. Independent women stand the hell out. You need to put your foot in the game.
Hey, I like that. See? You know what? And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much more to that.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just the tip of the iceberg. See, right now, Uncle Charlie healing off in this money making right now, fucking off with his nigga Pop Boy Marlo. You know, we heading back to the lab right quick so we can get into this conversation because, oh boy, am I going to talk about these independents, they non-dependents. You know what I'm talking about? Independent women, they got people to carry on their taxes. Those wannabe independent women are the kind that go and sell their babies for the tax money and sell their food stamp and shit. They go buy a couple bottles and say they're independent. Bitch, you ain't independent. You just like the next bitch. Stop selling your baby food. Well, Uncle Charlie out. I'll call y'all when I get back to the house. Uncle Charlie out. Traumatized camp. Curtis, get him turn that back.
Well, that was Uncle Charlie, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Got to give it to him, man. You know what I'm saying? One more time for Uncle Charlie, y'all.
You know, it ain't no trigger. It ain't no safety clip on that mouse of his. And that's why he's Uncle Charlie. He's just, you know, he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? He gonna give it to you real in the field. You know what I mean?
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But Ruger, what you think, man? You know, what's your definition of independent woman, independent lady? You know, what's your def on that?
INDENTD. I can't spell that shit. But yo, check this out. Check this out, man. Independent woman. Now, pretty much, Uncle Charlie pretty much broke it down, you know. But like I said, it's the tip of the iceberg. It just depends on which route you want to follow, you know. But I'll try to do the best I can in hitting all the areas real quick, fast, and hurry. I probably won't. But independent woman, I'm going to use an example for pretty much Facebook. This is what I see all the time. See the next broad, next female, next bitch, next hoe, whatever you want to call it, worrying about the next broad, about what they got, what they don't got. And 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty much noticing that there are the ones that are dependent on their baby's father. I ain't going to say baby daddy. B, they are dependent on some type of government assistance. C, they are looking for a way to get something from somebody in their own sneaky little way. All right? But they're the first one to holler, oh, my babies ain't worrying about nothing. They got theirs. You can figure out, look, if you spend about 90% of your time on Facebook, I can pretty much figure out you really don't have a job like that. All day you on Facebook and you independent and your kids got good clothes and you eating goddamn snack, crab and all that shit and you ain't got no damn job, you about to roll for fucking blunt at 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not independent. Okay? You're dependent on either A, government assistance, B, your baby daddy. You dependent on something. All right? Independent women, like Uncle Charlie would say, educated, motivated. Now, I'm going to break it down real quick, and it's going to be it. If a female is trying, now she might be getting assistance from the government, EBT, WIC, whatever you want to call it. But this is the thing that separate the independent women who are not independent, that's not dependent, and the independent women who are independent. See, you still have a little fine line. Some folks just ain't blessed about what other folks have. Some folks are still making up for what they did in their past. They're trying to catch up. So they're trying, key word is trying to do better. All right? So, yeah, they might be on WIC. They might be on EBT. But they got education. They got a college degree. They just fell into a bad time, a little rut. They need a little help. But this is where they humble themselves. They don't go out and flash the word independent. You know what I'm saying? They don't go out and say, oh, I'm independent. No, they're humble. They go out there, they're trying, and once they get on their feet, then they get off that dependent situation they're on. So, in my eyes, I can call them somewhat independent because they're not trying to live off that, and they got some type of moral. My whole thing is right here, independent woman, they live off, I'm calling them succubus, leeches. They lazy, ain't trying, trifling, okay? They call themselves, they everything, they trendsetters, they do all that, they this, they that, and they ain't got a fucking part to piss in and they want to throw it at it. But they're independent. And they're real easy to figure out because they always got a game. They'll run a game on your ass real quick, fast, in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? That's all Rue got to say about that.
All right. I feel that, man. Well, I'm going to tell you my tidbit on it. You know what I'm saying? And mine's going to be kind of brief because, you know, not only did Uncle Charlie start it off, but Ruger kind of put the fine-tuning on it. So I'm going to go spin off it a little bit. To me, you know, an independent woman is a woman who pays her own bills, that buys her own things, and does not allow a man to influence her stability and self-confidence. You know what I'm saying? So there is a lot of independent women out here. Matter of fact, we know a good bit of them anyway. You know what I'm saying? But for the ones that ain't, that's still dependent on government assistance, still dependent on their baby's father or boyfriend or sugar daddy or whatever you want to call them, you need to grow up. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to know that you can stand on your own 2 feet and be a role model for your children because they see everything. And if they see mama doing the same thing, especially if you got a daughter, what do you think she's going to believe when she grow up? That trend's always going to continue. So you have to be the role model for your children and for yourself to know that, you know what I'm saying, I don't need a man. Just as well as a man don't need a woman to have to, well, a man need a woman for certain things, but I'm just saying overall, you need each other if you in a solid relationship because, you know, depending on the man's situation, he can't stand on his own 2 feet. You know, that's why the woman is his backbone. You know what I'm saying? So, as well as a woman, as long as you're doing the things you're supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I applaud you. But for the independent woman out there, I salute you. Keep doing what you're doing because you're doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all out here, y'all be too independent sometimes. You know, you almost act like you don't need a man for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but, you know, that's my tidbit. What you got, Cecilio?
Oh, what I got.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Well, y'all do know that when Cecilio comes up with a topic or something, I try to think things through 100%.
All right.
You know, in all shapes, aspects, diagonals, and perspectives. Well, you know, when I thought about independent women and stuff, I thought back to, you know, my past, you know. In the past, I ran across, you know, many people, some personal, some, you know, in business and socializing and stuff, where, you know, sometimes the line just get a little funky with independence. So, for example, I remember meeting this one female, I'm not naming names because, you know, she's probably listening. If she ain't, she needs to be listening. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? I ran into this one female, right? And she, you know, when I first met her, she was all, you know, I'm independent. You know, I'm an independent woman. She had her own job. Okay, that was good. You know what I'm saying? Then she made her own money and everything. And, you know, she was living a life, you know, taking trips here, taking trips there, eating out, all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? She ain't had no kids. You know, that was good. But here's where, how they say the yang got the yin in it and the yin got the yang in it. Here's where it got funky at. See, she was dependent on her parents. And what I mean by that was, you know what I'm saying, like, for example, her car. At first I thought, you know what I'm saying, her car was, you know what I'm saying, she was making the payments on it, everything else like that. But come to find out, her parents was the one who was paying her car note. You know what I'm saying? Hey, cool beans, you know what I'm saying? If you got parents that are blessed, that, you know what I'm saying, can help you out, that's cool. But at the same time, don't down the next man or don't down the next chick who, you know what I'm saying, they don't have nobody to bless them like that. But they out here making their own paper, their own car note, their own mortgages on their house, their own rent, they paying that by themselves. They don't have that backbone like how you have that backbone. Like how you have that person that, you know what I'm saying, this is where it gets funky at. If you have a bill and you got a job and you got your paycheck and your paycheck isn't enough to handle that bill, here's where the independency comes in at. If you can call somebody and be like, hey, I'm short on this bill, and that person puts that money in your account or go pay that bill, you are not independent. You might be blessed, but you ain't independent. Because the independent person, you all you got. It's like how the old movie is, New Jack City, CMB, we all we got. Yeah, that's independent right there. You your own independent entity. Meaning, it's like biblical times. If you don't plant the seed and the crops don't grow, you don't eat. You can't go to somebody else and be like, hey, you know, I need something, and they just go ahead and take care of that for you. Now, before you get your panties in a bunch, or your drawers in a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, your boxes in a little bit of snag, understand this. When you go to these people, if you got people in your life where you can go to, and it's a loan, and you got to pay that back, then you are independent. Because this is not something that you're just taking from somebody else and not having to, and it's just, you know, clean slate, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is a loan, meaning you got to pay that person back. Some people charge interest, some people don't. Your parents might charge you interest because they figure you grown. You know what I'm saying? Your ass ain't home, so your ass is grown. That might be. You know what I'm saying? They might tax you a little interest on that because, hey, you grown. That's part of making you the young man or young lady that you are. You know what I'm saying? But in this particular case, this person, it wasn't like that. The place where she lived, mom and daddy paid the mortgage. Another female who was just the same, mom and daddy paid the rent. You ain't independent. You dependent because you have that that person